If you travel with your pet more than once a year between the US and Europe, today I'm going to show you how to save some money doing that. Now, the first time you travel with your pet to Europe, you're going to have to go through your vet and the USDA. This will ensure that your pet has the proper microchip. Normally, the microchips they put in here in the US aren't compliant with the EU version, and your vet can put in a second one and you'll be compliant. That number will be registered in the paperwork you have, and this will help you later when you get to Europe. Once you've had your pet in Europe, you actually are required to get a European pet passport while you're there. This is a good thing, and I'm going to show you how to save money using that instead of the way I described in the first video. Traveling multiple times a year between the US and Europe, it's going to get kind of expensive if you continue to do it in this way. We've done it. It adds up really quick. This last trip between the vaccination, the examination, filling out the paperwork, filing the paperwork with the USDA, we almost hit $300 for that one trip. You don't need to do this. What you can do is once you've got the pet passport in Europe, you can use that to travel both directions. There are a few things you're going to have to know to get that right, but it makes things much easier and it'll save you a lot of money. The first thing you need to know is that you're going to have to synchronize your pet's rabies vaccination. The US version is good for 3 years. The European version is good for 1. And when I say version, I don't mean they're different vaccines. They're apparently the same. They just let it go longer in America between vaccinations, and in Italy, they want them every year. So in this case, Emma had been vaccinated in 2020, and her vaccination will expire in April of 2023. We were in Italy in May, June of 2022, and it was far enough away that I felt comfortable. I asked my vet if there was any problem with getting her vaccination early, and she said no, and our vet in Italy was fine with it, so we got her vaccinated this last trip. So now she's good until June of 2023. Now, between these two dates, we will probably visit Europe twice. And like I said, normally that's a couple $100 for each trip. Using the European pet passport, you can get that down to just the cost of that vaccination that you got in Europe. So Emma got a vaccination that cost about 30 euros. It was put into her passport. We got a rabies certificate. And when we came back, leaving Italy, they definitely want to see the European pet passport. We've used American papers, and it slows everything down because sometimes they can't find the information they need because they're not very conversant with reading English. So having that pet passport really makes a difference. It also gets you out of the country quickly. And my biggest concern was, will they accept that when I arrive in the United States? And yes, they did. When we landed in San Francisco, we went to the customs officer and we showed him the pet passport and the rabies certificate. And the rabies certificate is what they really want to see. And then they look into the pet passport to see the expiration date. The rabies certificate that we got says when they gave it to them, and it's good for 1 year. They want to see the actual stamp that's in your passport that says you got it on this day, it expires on this day this year. So that was it. So for the next several trips until June of next year, we don't have to pay any more money. Now, this way of doing things was recommended by my vet, and it was recommended to me by the USDA. And we've done it, and we know that it's good. So we're going to recommend that if you're doing multiple trips, this is the best way to save money.